Welcome to the Tech Mobility Podcast, brought to you by Playbook Investors Network, your strategic partner for unstoppable growth. Visit pincommunity.org to get started.
I'm Ken Chester. On the docket, the world's first underground nuclear power plant, resumes out, weekend in-office trial in, and why is gasoline so high? To add your voice to the conversation, be it to ask a question, share an opinion, or even suggest a topic for future discussion, call or text the Tech Mobility Hotline. That number, 872-222-9793, or you can email the show directly, talk@techmobility.show. From the Tech Mobility News Desk, I spend a lot of time talking about alternative fuels, alternative vehicles, different ways to power up stuff, how to get smaller, cheaper, more efficient. Today, I thought I'd take a different tack. I want to introduce you to the all-new Kenworth C580. This is Kenworth's newest and biggest truck. Because, let's be honest for a minute, in the midst of all this move, so it's being more efficient and smaller engines and more different types of power plants, there is still a need for a big, brawny, large, diesel-powered vehicle. Particularly when you're into such industries as cement manufacturing, hauling the big rigs that haul all sorts of stuff across the country, hauling containers. The vocational trucks that do hauling trash and moving logs and all that gnarly stuff on construction sites, which require a lot of power in a big way. And right now, the industry says there's no other way at this time but what we've been doing. And this comes to us by way of the Commercial Carrier Journal. And I wanted to share this with you because it's just different. I thought we could use a palate cleanser and talk about something completely different. So I'm going to talk about this truck. Kenworth's C580 vocational tractor is aimed at off-highway and severe service applications, and it succeeds Kenworth's C500. The new cab offers a larger windshield for better visibility, an optimized hood slope, increased room between the seats, let me back up because I'm getting so excited here. Increased room between the seats compared to the C500, a staple in Kenworth's lineup for almost 50 years. 50 years. I have said before, and I'm going to say it again just for the record, there is going to be a place for the next 20, 30, maybe more years on this end of the spectrum for large displacement, large trucks. Nothing's going to replace the diesel in those categories, severe service categories, anytime soon. So I'm not really worried about it. And I've said this before. So this is not something new or revolutionary coming from me. I'm just making it plain for you. This truck features a customizable 15-inch digital display, placing all gauges and critical information clearly in view of the driver. It even has advanced driver assistance systems. Yes, those safety systems are continuing to make their way in all kinds of commercial trucks. Hey, making them safer for driver and everybody who encounters the vehicle, I'm all for that. It improves driver safety, while something called Truck Tech Plus Remote Diagnostics delivers real-time fleet insights into the usage and health of vehicles. If you think that these big gnarly vehicles are not improving with the industry, you would be wrong. A fleet is a fleet, mileage is mileage, overhead is overhead, and cost is cost. And fleet operators, particularly at this end of the spectrum, severe duty vocational trucks, have a vested interest, if anybody does, in knowing the health, condition, and stresses of that vehicle at all times. Because if it ain't moving, it's costing them thousands of dollars an hour for it not to be operational. So any tech that the truck manufacturer can infuse into these trucks and give fleet operators a better insight of maintenance cycles, condition, stuff that is weak before it fails, stuff that is out of parameters, performance parameters before you have a failure, saves time and saves money. The magic in this vehicle is something called Cummins X15 engine with ratings up to 605 horsepower and 2,050 foot-pounds of torque. I said that correctly. Over 2,000 foot-pounds of torque. That's a lot of torque. And in case you haven't heard about the Cummins X15, let me talk a minute. This is an engine that Cummins developed that is fuel agnostic. What does that mean? It means that this engine will run on a wide variety of different types of fuel. That's also important, particularly now where the price of diesel, straight up diesel, is over $5 a gallon. Because these things drink it by the container load. I mean, if you get 5 miles a gallon in something like this, you're doing great. And trust me, a severe duty truck like the Mack C580 ain't even getting that far because of what it's required to do. Some applications. These trucks have been in the Arctic and the oil fields, Borneo, hauling logs and coal, in Asia, transporting massive mining equipment, and deep in the Amazon, hauling transformers. They're all over the place. These are the trucks you send when nothing else will fit the bill, where nothing else is strong enough, durable enough, or reliable enough to send. You send these. And they get a pretty penny for them, no doubt. That's why they call them severe service. It's the largest vocational truck that Kenworth makes. While engineered for extreme duty applications, the C580 borrows comfort and technology features from other vocational models like the T880. The 580's new cab offers, like I said, a larger windshield, optimized hood slope, and all the sorts of things that will make a driver more comfortable. Because a comfortable driver is a more efficient driver. The C580 also features Kenworth's full suite of transmission offerings, including manual transmissions, Allison 4000 and 6000 series automatics, and for the first time in the extreme duty segment, the advanced Eden Endurant XD Pro automated transmission. I can't see anybody that would use a manual in severe service, but they make them. And the automatics, these ain't the automatics in your half ton. Absolutely not. These have been optimized for severe service. That means hot and cold running, extreme weight demands, just extreme everything. However this truck is driven, everything's extreme. It runs over rough roads, hard environments, extremely cold, extremely hot, nasty grades, unpredictable roads, jarring, you name it. When we say severe, they mean severe. Let me talk about this Eaton transmission, because honestly, looking at it, it actually looks smaller than what you would put in your regular half ton. But very briefly, the product suite of this Endurant transmission features two purpose-built, high-performance, automated transmissions designed for on-highway applications, and then they make a ruggedized version for the off-road applications. And it is an electronic transmission, and it's designed to handle the stresses that would be found in a severe service environment, on or off-road. It's just interesting to note how everything has to literally be supersized and severe built in order to handle this stuff. But they make them, and they don't fail that much. And it can handle upwards of 166,000 pounds gross combined weight. That's its rating. These suckers don't play, and they're better than the 13, 18-speed automatic transmissions that are currently in the marketplace. Deep Fission is drilling a hole in Kansas for a first-of-its-kind underground nuclear power plant. You are listening to the Tech Mobility Show.
In business, opportunity doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Playbook Investors Network, we connect visionary entrepreneurs with the strategies, resources, and capital they need to win. Whether you're launching, scaling, or reimagining your business, our network turns ambition into measurable success. Your vision deserves more than a plan. It deserves a playbook that works. Playbook Investors Network, where bold ideas meet bold results. Visit pincommunity.org today.
Are you tired of juggling multiple apps and platforms for meetings, webinars, and staying connected? Look no further than AONmeetings.com, the all-in-one browser-based platform that does it all. With AON Meetings, you can effortlessly communicate with clients, host virtual meetings and webinars, and stay in touch with family and friends, all in one place and for one price. Here's the best part. You can enjoy a 30-day free trial. It's time to simplify your life and boost your productivity. AONmeetings.com, where innovation meets connection. Get started today and revolutionize the way you communicate.
To learn more about the Tech Mobility Show, start by visiting our website. I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. The website is a treasure trove of information about me and the show, as well as where to find it on the radio across the country. Keep up with the happenings at the Tech Mobility Show by visiting techmobility.show. You can also drop us a line at talk@techmobility.show.
AI is changing the game of business. Will you be on the winning team? I'm Jordan Wilson, the host of the Everyday AI podcast and your coach to help you learn the X's and O's of AI. Artificial intelligence isn't just a new player in the game, it's a new sport altogether. So if you don't quickly put AI into play, your competitors will run up the score. I've spent my whole life building winning teams, from coaching basketball to working with big players like Nike and Jordan Brand. My next move? Helping you win with Everyday AI. Listen wherever you get your podcasts or on everydayaipodcast.com. Let's tap into AI together and put points on the board.
Every great business starts with a spark, but taking it to the next level takes strategy, connections, and capital. That's where Playbook Investors Network comes in. We're your strategic partner for accelerating growth, navigating challenges, and capturing market opportunities before your competition does. Your business is more than an idea. Let's make it an impact. Playbook Investors Network. Your future starts here. Learn more at pincommunity.org.
With its 11-speaker spatial imaging sound system and sumptuous leather interior, the Chrysler LHS puts you in the lap of luxury. And if that's not enough, its 3.5-liter, 214-horsepower engine invites you to try a few other laps as well. Chrysler LHS, the North American luxury car redefined.
The year was 1994, 32 years ago. When Chrysler introduced, actually in 93, they introduced the LH cars. These were cab-forward, large, front-wheel drive cars with a longitudinal mounted 3.5-liter V6 engine bolted to a 4-speed automatic. These cars were phenomenal. And Chrysler built them in the Chrysler mode, Dodge. They did not build a Plymouth, but they built an Eagle. And for those of you that may not remember the Eagle brand, that was a carryover from a hot minute when Chrysler bought AMC in 1987. They turned the AMC models into Eagle, and they built some vehicles for it. And the LH got the Eagle Vision for a minute. Meanwhile, the Chrysler brand got the LHS, the Chrysler Concorde, and for 2.5 years, the Chrysler New Yorker. They were amazing cars. They were a different time, not the Chrysler that you know today of just the Pacifica. It was a whole company and a whole brand, and it was amazing back then. These cars turned the industry on its ear, and it was unlike anything Chrysler had built up to that time. In fact, these were so revolutionary that they had training for everybody in the company, even down to dealers, and not just the dealer sales staff, receptionists, even under the janitor, it was rumored, got training. and how to handle the new customers that would be coming to the showroom for these all new, never seen before cab forward cars. They were amazing. They were. Different time. What is Deep Fission, a California-based nuclear startup, doing in Kansas? They actually started drilling the first of 3 data acquisition wells in Parsons, Kansas, actually in an industrial park, for its innovative underground nuclear pilot project. The company's design replaces mass service containment by leveraging natural geology. The first well at Great Plains Industrial Park in Parsons is being drilled to a depth of 6,000 feet with a diameter of 8 inches. This initial phase follows the successful completion of the drilling pad and is designed to gather critical geological, hydrological, and thermal data. Kansas. This is topic A. We are in a rush to bring more power online. Regular listeners to the program will recall I talked about the next generation of nuclear power plants. They're called modular, small modular reactors, or SMRs. They're way smaller than the typical nuclear installation that we were familiar with throughout the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. Part of that makes them easier to build. Part of them makes it easier to handle, control, manage at a cost way less than the cost overruns of the traditional nuclear power plant. Deep Fission's spin on this takes this to the next level and says, no, we're not even going to build this above ground. We are going to build a nuclear power plant a mile below ground in bedrock that would serve as a natural containment so that it'd be safe, won't take as much real estate, and be economical. The first question that came to my mind when they thought about this, when I read about this, is what about the water table? You're building a nuclear facility in the ground. How will you deal with maintaining that radiation, maintaining that none of that leaks, seeps, anything into the water table? How do we know that your samples for bedrock are watertight, that over time it doesn't fracture or anything? And what is your containment plan? This article does not address that, and that concerns me. Also, if you're going to put it a mile below ground, just how accessible is it going to be in terms of management, in terms of you need to go down there and fix something, cooling? What are you going to do with the spent rods, even though it will be a lower concentration of uranium? At some point, they'll have to be changed. How are you going to manage that? This article did not address that either. But they got excited because they called their reactor, their pilot, the gravity reactor, which is small. Now, to be fair, it's small. It's 15 megawatts, designed to operate, like I said, a mile beneath the Earth's surface. I don't know how to feel about this. I can appreciate the ability to contain it. I can appreciate the ability to want to surround it with bedrock. I can appreciate the smaller footprint. But what concerns me is vulnerability of the water table. And if it's going to count on the water table to help cool it, how is water or whatever coolant you're going to use managing? Because between the material that you use to limit the speed of the reaction, you also, the current designs call for water as the primary cooling liquid to maintain and manage thermal control. How is that going to be managed? And then what happens if something goes wrong? You're a mile below the Earth. I am assuming you're not going to have people down there, that whoever you have will be managing from top ground. So I have questions. Do understand Right now in the United States, there are no operating SMRs. There are no SMRs in the United States currently under construction. There is plans to build one in Canada. There are plans that both the government in Colorado and at least one utility in Nebraska is looking at building an SMR, but they're anywhere from 10 to 15 years from coming online. Deep fission is at the beginning of its process. This is just a pilot plant. The question is this 15 megawatt plant, is that the size they're going to use? Because the article does talk about is building several of these in series in a location to generate, build 10 of them to get to 150 megawatts, kind of the size of a regular power plant. Still got questions though. How do you manage it? How do you control it? What happens if you have a problem down there? How do you resolve that? How can you stop it? And what kind of training would be required since this is a new approach to building a nuclear plant, and SMRs are new too? Sounds promising on the one hand, but again, a lot of questions, particularly as it relates to safety, management, training, control. How much money will it take to build them? How long will it take to bring them online? All of that. I got questions. Time will tell if I get answers. In this new age of AI, traditional resumes are out as companies prefer week-long in-office trials. This is the Tech Mobility Show.
You've got the drive. You've got the vision. Now you need the right partner to make it happen. At Playbook Investors Network, we power ambitious leaders with the tools, insight, and investment connections to move faster, grow stronger, and lead markets. We're more than advisors. We're your co-pilots in success. Because in business, standing still is not an option. Playbook Investors Network, fueling ambition, delivering results. Visit pincommunity.org.
Did you know that Tech Mobility has a YouTube channel? Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. Each week, I upload a few short videos of some of the hot topics that I cover during my weekly radio program. I've designed these videos to be informative and entertaining. It's another way to keep up on current mobility and technology news and information. Be sure to watch, like, and subscribe to my channel. That's the Tech Mobility Show on YouTube. Check it out. Chalk this one up to AI bots and remote employment scams. Companies are realizing that in this world of virtual interviews across Zoom, that any job candidate can talk the talk. Now, a growing number of employers want candidates to actually physically come in and walk the walk. It's one way to put technology in check where it counts, and I think it's a pretty darn good idea. This is topic B. If you've been reading the trade press, no doubt you've heard about the scammers. South Korean scammers that scam a tech company to come to work for them, that they want to work remote and they're legit and all that. They go to work for the company, discover the company's secrets, and either get found out. If they threaten to quit, they either blackmail the company or blackmail to show their secrets, or that doesn't even happen. They just take the secrets and run. There's a lot of that. This is an opportunity in this world, I think, is an excellent way for those people, even if you don't test the best in an interview, here's an opportunity to show what you know. Companies are inviting prospective applicants to come in, maybe spend a weekend, couple of days, and work with their teams. You get to see how the company operates. They get to see how you fit. Now, there is one major caveat in all this. They do expect you to have some knowledge, working knowledge, applicable knowledge of AI. And it doesn't matter whether you are legal, financial, or a line or staff function. They are looking for your proficiency in using AI in order to help the organization further improve, or at the very least, be compatible with their technology at the company. I've talked to a lot of people who say, I would never use AI. I don't want to know anything about it. I just won't do it. I won't use it. I don't care. Here's the shocker. In our society, in Western civilization, in the year of our Lord, 2026, you're already interacting with AI, even if you have no intentions of doing it. If you interact with the internet, you are dealing with AI. If you're using anything like Grammarly, Word, even Google Sheets, anything, you're already interfacing with AI. If you're reaching out to a company, customer service particularly, you're already interfacing with AI. Amazon, eBay, whatever, AI people. Whether you want to use it or not, you are already interfacing with it. Since 2022, now going on 4 years ago, corporate, not just corporate America, but the world, corporate world has ran at a full tilt to embrace AI. And they infused it and are infusing it into everything. So there's that. We talked about AI assessing particular applicants and how unfair that is because you don't know what the scoring or the rating is because you're not really talking to somebody. AI is already looking at your experience and making decisions about you and maybe excluding you without you even knowing that you've been excluded, that you didn't even have a chance. With this latest wrinkle, companies will actually give prospective employees an opportunity to show what they know. Say you're proficient here, here, and here. Okay, we'd like you to come in over a weekend and work with our crew on a particular problem. Let's see what you know. You say you know that. Let's see what you got. Come on in. And if it works out, we offer you a job. I think it is an excellent way for people who may be short on degrees but long on experience to show what they know. But in our technological world, you're going to have to come to grips with AI. And it doesn't mean that you are a tech person. I'm not talking about folks in IT people. It could be advertising. It could be marketing. It could be accounting. It could be banking. It could be insurance. And chances are the employer that you are interviewing with already is using either an industry-specific AI or, if they are big enough, a company-developed AI agent or system. They want to know, can you adapt? Can you roll with the punches? Can you adjust as the situation calls for it? That's what they're looking for. They can teach you the corporate stuff. They want to know, what do you know, and can you adapt to it? Because adaptation, really, is the buzzword for anybody looking for a middle management, entry level, or even senior management job in this time of technology. AI has leveled the playing field in crazy ways that making people incredibly more efficient if they know how to use it. AI won't necessarily replace you, but if you know how to use it to augment what you already know, if you're a person of a certain age that has a level of context, experience that you can use to bring into AI and make it more effective based on what you know, as opposed to what AI is telling you, then you're going to be inherently more valuable. Last week, I talked about the value of women over 50. Let me make a case for people who've been in the workplace before AI that has developed 10, 15, 20, 25 years worth of work experience. That work experience will now help you in this world as AI comes in, because now you can use that aid to augment and actually leverage what you know. It makes you better. And companies will find out in real time as they put the resume inside, said, I don't care what you wrote, and I don't care how you did in the interview. I want to see what you can do. Doing rather than saying is the new mantra going forward right now. It is a rare window where the technology, for technology's sake, isn't going to necessarily give you a leg up. What you are able to do with the technology that is presented before you is where the answer is. Can you adapt? Can you help the company look at things in different ways? Can you leverage the technology that's out there to your advantage and to the company's advantage? That is what they're looking for. They can teach you company policy and procedures. They're not looking for that. They're not necessarily looking for somebody steeped in all that. They're looking for someone who can leverage what they know and in a new environment as it's changing and apply what you know to the new technology and actually come out with something that's even better. Welcome to the show your work era of job hunting. And honestly, I think it's brilliant. And I think it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for being assessed honestly for what you know, not necessarily who you know or your connections. Money always talks. And anytime you can add value to an organization, it is worth its weight in gold. Now, finally, technology is giving you this opportunity. Don't waste it, because you're not going to get another one. This is the time to show them what you know and how you can add value by actually being there in person. They don't have to guess. They don't have to hear about it. They don't have to take someone else's word for it. They're seeing you do it in real time with the people you'll be doing it with. The good old USA produces the most oil in the world. Why is gasoline so high then? We are the Tech Mobility Show.
Are you tired of juggling multiple apps and platforms for meetings, webinars, and staying connected? Look no further than aonmeetings.com, the all-in-one browser-based platform that does it all. With AON Meetings, you can effortlessly communicate with clients, host virtual meetings and webinars, and stay in touch with family and friends, all in one place and for one price. Here's the best part. You can enjoy a 30-day free trial. It's time to simplify your life and boost your productivity. aonmeetings.com, where innovation meets connection. Get started today and revolutionize the way you communicate.
To learn more about the Tech Mobility Show, start by visiting our website. Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. The website is a treasure trove of information about me and the show, as well as where to find it on the radio across the country. Keep up with the happenings at the Tech Mobility Show by visiting techmobility.show. That's techmobility.show. You can also drop us a line at talk@techmobility.show.
In business, opportunity doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Playbook Investors Network, we connect visionary entrepreneurs with the strategies, resources, and capital they need to win. Whether you're launching, scaling, or reimagining your business, our network turns ambition into measurable success. Your vision deserves more than a plan. It deserves a playbook that works. Playbook Investors Network, where bold ideas meet bold results. Visit pincommunity.org today.
Did you know that Tech Mobility has a YouTube channel? Hi, I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. Each week, I upload a few short videos of some of the hot topics that I cover during my weekly radio program. I've designed these videos to be informative and entertaining. It's another way to keep up on current mobility and technology news and information. Be sure to watch, like, and subscribe to my channel. That's the Tech Mobility Show on YouTube. Check it out. I'm going to have fun with this one. No joke. The United States of America produces the most crude oil and natural gas in the world. And since I know you've heard that before, and more than once, you got to be wondering, if that's true, then why is gasoline so high? If only the oil and gas industry was so simple. Turns out, for a variety of reasons, that fact alone does not insulate us from what's happening elsewhere on the planet. This is topic C. Let's start with the easy stuff, shall we? The stuff you already know. And then we'll get into the more technical stuff. I know you already know that there are two different types of gasoline blends. And I ain't talking about regular and unleaded. What I'm talking about is that there's a winter blend that the refineries make, and a summer blend that refineries make. And the reason why the two blends is they make the gasoline so your vehicle can start easy and has certain different attributes of performance due to weather. Ironically, the winter blends cost less to make. So you would naturally, after Labor Day, see gas prices going down. That's particularly because they're switching to winter blends. Come summer, you see prices generally going up, and you think, oh, they're just ratcheting it up because it's driving season. Not exactly. Summer blends cost more to make, again, because of temperature issues, because there's different blends required by the EPA in certain markets. All of that is required. So you expect it to go up. So there's a natural ebb and flow. Even before all this other stuff going on right now, there's a natural ebb and flow. We know prices tend to go down in the fall, in early winter. Prices tend to go up right before Memorial Day. That's the way it's always been. So let's start with the obvious. Do you realize that crude oil as a part of the cost of gasoline is only 50% of the gasoline's retail price? 50%. Put a pin in that. Federal and state taxes, marketing and distribution costs, and refining costs and profits make up the rest. Refining costs. The United States has been closing refineries for years. And the refineries are in the wrong place. And here's something that's totally messed up, that when I heard it, I didn't believe it, did more research, and it's true. Most of our refining capacity is down in Texas at what they call the Chemical Coast. But guess what? Those refineries are designed to run a heavier crude than the type that comes out of the ground in the United States. As a result, that's why we are a major exporter of gasoline. We cannot refine the sweet crude, the light crude that comes out of the Permian Basin or the oil shale fields. It's actually a better grade of crude oil than our refineries in Texas can refine. Is that messed up or what? They've spent billions of dollars to run the heavier crude. And where does that crude come from? Canada. The crude comes from Canada. And I know exactly where: Alberta and the oil sands region. The heavier, or what they call sour crude, costs more to refine. It's sticky, it's heavy, it's nasty stuff. Our refineries are optimized to run that stuff. They're not optimized to run what we pull out of the ground in the United States. And you would think that's backwards, don't you? Yet we refine it. We refine that stuff into gasoline, and where's it going? It's leaving the country. Why? Because when the rest of the world, economically, needs gasoline, and they're paying way more for it than even we are. Capitalism. They're going to ship the gasoline where they can make the greatest return. And if it's not in the United States, so sad, too bad. Now, let's lay on another level of complexity. Pipelines. Pipelines in the United States are mostly centered in the central part of the United States and west. If you're in the eastern part of the United States, there ain't nearly enough pipelines that get the crude there, let alone refineries there to refine it if and when it gets there. So guess what? They've got to, if you're in New England, if you're in New York, if you're in that way, chances are you're importing resources. Because the stuff in Texas, Oklahoma, and out that way, they can't get to the coast because nobody wants a crude oil pipeline in their backyard. Nobody does. Nobody wants a nasty, smelly, dangerous refinery in their backyard. And we've been closing both. Looking at that, the comment from the industry watchers say the U.S. produces a lot of oil, but not always the right kind in the right place. And I went, what? That's ridiculous. But it is. And for the record, yes, Canada has the same problem. Their Atlantic provinces import oil, even though they're rich in it in the West. They can't get the rich oil basin in Alberta and their western provinces east. They got the same problem. This is a hard case of not in my backyard. And as a result, Americans are paying for it because we don't have the proper balance. Wouldn't it make more sense if two things was common? One, we had the pipelines to get the crude oil where it needed to be or the finished gasoline where it needed to be when it needed to be there. Supply and demand, number one. Number two, wouldn't it make more sense if we were able to get the sweet crude to the refineries so they wouldn't have to spend as much money, the cost of producing it would be less, and as a result of our wonderful pipeline distribution system, costs would come down? That's not the way it is. If you've got a good memory, you may remember the Keystone Pipeline and all the drama that went through trying to get that built from Canada to Texas. Didn't stop at any of our oil fields. Wasn't designed to. It was designed to get that heavy crude that comes from Canada to the refineries so the refiners could benefit. And oh yeah, I left something else out. Refinery upgrades and maintenance. Anytime you take a refinery offline, less capacity, less supply. Less supply, higher price. They're already running horrifically efficient, meaning they can't run anymore even if they had to. You put all of this together and you've got gas prices where we've got them. And as long as that happens, they're going to stay high. And it's ridiculous. I was paying well over $4 a gallon in Chicago. I was almost tempted to walk. In Iowa, it's almost a full dollar cheaper. Because we happen to be at the crossroads of some pipelines, so we're lucky like that. But it's still expensive. It's still 70, 80 cents more a gallon than what we're used to here. All of that because of where we're at. All the inequities in the oil business. All those little problems adding up to where we are now with a major wrench in supply.
This is the Tech Mobility Podcast.
Every great business starts with a spark, but taking it to the next level takes strategy, connections, and capital. That's where Playbook Investors Network comes in. We're your strategic partner for accelerating growth, navigating challenges, and capturing market opportunities before your competition does. Your business is more than an idea. Let's make it an impact. Playbook Investors Network. Your future starts here. Learn more at pincommunity.org.
To learn more about the Tech Mobility Show, start by visiting our website. I'm Ken Chester, host of the Tech Mobility Show. The website is a treasure trove of information about me and the show, as well as where to find it on the radio across the country. Keep up with the happenings at the Tech Mobility Show by visiting techmobility.show. You can also drop us a line at talk@techmobility.show.
Are you tired of juggling multiple apps and platforms for meetings, webinars, and staying connected? Look no further than aonmeetings.com, the all-in-one browser-based platform that does it all. With AON Meetings, you can effortlessly communicate with clients, host virtual meetings and webinars, and stay in touch with family and friends, all in one place and for one price. Here's the best part. You can enjoy a 30-day free trial. It's time to simplify your life and boost your productivity. aonmeetings.com, where innovation meets connection. Get started today and revolutionize the way you communicate.
You've got the drive. You've got the vision. Now you need the right partner to make it happen. At Playbook Investors Network, we power ambitious leaders with the tools, insight, and investment connections to move faster, grow stronger, and lead markets. We're more than advisors. We're your co-pilots in success. Because in business, standing still is not an option. Playbook Investors Network, fueling ambition, delivering results. Visit pincommunity.org.